Welcome back to the show from Parents Defending Education. Nicole Neily is the founder there. Great to see you, Nicole. Nicole, let's look at this. Let's look at this first. A single mom. She's now hailed and applauded as a new common sense hero, taking on toxic school agendas. Let's watch Gabrielle Clark. She's at a Texas House education meeting. She's slamming what's going on in schools. Watch.
If my daughter is taught CRT at all, I will sue you. If my daughter is taught SEL at all, I will sue you. I am encouraging every parent I know to sue you. To sue every teacher, principal, every system, everybody up the chain. Because we're tired of y'all. I'm an atheist, bisexual, biracial, homeless person. I want school choice. I do not want my child to be taught that just because she's black and a woman, she ain't gonna make it. I do not want my child to be taught that she needs to express herself sexually in her classroom. I swear to you, I promise you, I will turn this into a class action lawsuit, ambulance chasing business.
Your reaction, that's powerful stuff. That's probably the strongest reaction we've seen out of a mom. She's a single mom. She's homeless, and she said enough. She's got 2 children, a daughter and a son. She's really scared and upset with what they're telling her, what they're hearing and learning in schools.
Gabby is a fearless trailblazer, and she has given courage to people from across the country, not only with this statement, but also with her lawsuit that she filed last year on behalf of her son in Nevada. And so I think what we have seen over the past 2 years is that parents are suddenly realizing they have rights too, which is not what we're being told from our school boards, not what we're being told from the Department of Education, but we do have rights. They're enshrined in the Constitution, and parents realize that and they're starting to fight back.
So, what are those constitutional rights?
Well, we as parents have the right to raise our children and to direct the upbringing of our children. That has been enshrined by federal courts for the past 100 years. And so to see school districts that are now overreaching, trying to keep secrets from parents, trying to undermine our authority is appalling. And I think that's why we're starting to see a lot of lawsuits. We're also seeing districts that are violating students' rights under the First Amendment, compelled speech issues. We're seeing violations of Title VI and Title IX left and right. And so I think Gabby's right. I think we're going to see a lot of lawsuits because there's a lot of districts that are violating those students' rights.
Gabby Clark filed a lawsuit in 2020 in Nevada saying, you know what, I don't want my son taught the oppressor-oppressed narrative. She's saying this violated his constitutional free speech and due process rights. She decided to move to Texas to save her daughter from what she called the indoctrination in gender ideology. Listen, racism is poison. It is toxic. It should never happen again. But we need to learn and study the history of it, right, to stop it. That's what her point, I think, is.
Absolutely, and I think what her case shows is that parents are not safe anywhere, even if you live in a red state, even if you live in a conservative area, even if you send your child to a private school. These problems are everywhere. It brings to mind the phrase, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. People need to know what's going on, pay attention, and if they're not getting the answers they want, continue to push, file public records requests because you deserve to know.
But the thing is, like kindergarten to 3rd grade, kids have anxiety, they get scared, they feel guilty. And she's saying, my kids are coming home and they're scared, they're upset. And Nicole, your group is now suing a school district in Iowa over gender policies. What's going on there?
Sure. So the Linn-Mar Community School District in Marion, Iowa, codified a policy in April of this year where it's their transgender policy where students of any age can create a gender support plan. They can be punished for misgendering one of their classmates, subject to punishment up to and including suspension and expulsion. But then also beginning in 7th grade on, the district will not tell parents, they will deliberately exclude parents from this information if their child decides to change their gender identity. They'll put that information in a temporary file.
Who do they think they are?
Even if a parent pulls their kid.
Seriously, who do they think they are?
It's appalling, isn't it?
Yeah, who do they think they are?
Yeah, well, it's a great question, and I think they're going to find out very quickly that the federal court system does not like what they're doing and is not going to respect what they're doing.
Let's get back to single mom Gabrielle Clark. She said children must be taught things in an age-appropriate manner. You're putting mature subjects on the top of children who aren't ready for it. Reading, math, history, that's what they should be taught and debated. not the stuff that you learn in college or, you hear about when you're mature. For example, when teaching children anatomy, you don't bring a cadaver into a third grade classroom. That's what Gabby Clark is saying. You know what I mean? You're not going to do that. So why are they doing this to children? Why?
Right. I mean, it's obvious that many of these administrators are determined to rip our children's innocence away from them. It's appalling, and I think that's why we're seeing so many parents rise up in anger. We want our children to learn the basics. We want our children to learn how to read and write and do math. Our children's achievement levels and proficiency rates at school were abysmal even before the pandemic, and after 2 years of virtual learning have fallen off a cliff. We expect our children to learn, and that trust has been broken because schools are spending the finite amount of time they have on social justice subjects instead of teaching our children.
Well, it just feels lazy. It feels like also like lazy teaching, right? It feels like bullying and lazy teaching. Final word.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that have an agenda, but unfortunately for them, parents know what's going on, they're not giving up, and they're not going to let down their guard ever again.
Nicole Neily, come back soon, okay? It's good to see you.